Hello and thanks for watching this video. Just quickly breaking down the difference between software as a service and hosted solutions. We just use the word cloud to talk about all of that, but really what does that mean? And there's really three ways to look at it. On-premise solutions, right? That's where let's just pick on QuickBooks for a second. QuickBooks is installed locally, right on the machines there. The data files there, that's it. Right? You might be going on the web for other things, but you're on premise. There's also software as a service like QuickBooks Online, or maybe online banking that you use, or like some other products like Salesforce.com. But QuickBooks Online is a great example, and I'm going to dive into mine really soon. And then, of course, there is hosting or hosted software solutions. So again, let's use a QuickBooks as an example. Hosting QuickBooks in the cloud. What does that mean? And it works just like on-premise software, but the application and the data file is actually on someone else's server, and you get to it through an icon on your desktop, and it goes through the internet, and you have like a virtual desktop in the cloud, quote unquote. So different from QuickBooks Online, the data's on Intuit servers. So that's kind of the breakdown of cloud. You either have SaaS, right? So think of QuickBooks Online. I'll show you that in a sec. Hosted solutions like Unidata, Right Networks, Cloud9, there's tons of them that will host QuickBooks and files and Microsoft Office products, and that's where the data and the programs on their servers, and you access it through the internet, probably from an icon from your desktop, desktop computer, laptop, iPad, iPhone. Real flexible, and you get the full functionality of the QuickBooks solution, of course. And then, of course, on-premise, right, which is kind of how we have it now. So I'm going to minimize this for now. And what you're looking at now is my QuickBooks Online. So I'm logged in, obviously on a web browser using Google Chrome. I'm in the file. My friend could be in the file, a colleague, the accountant could be in the file. We're all in the file at the same time. The data is kept secure and safe on Intuit servers. Right? So this is software as a service. I'm paying for it monthly or even annually. Right? So that's like the QuickBooks Online side. Now, what about hosted? I click an icon on my desktop, hosted Premier, right? And remote data services we're talking about. And up pops up my virtual desktop that's on someone else's servers. And in this case, it's Unidata. That's who I use. And I've installed my QuickBooks applications. I have Excel here and PowerPoint all on my virtual kind of operating system or computer in the cloud. You notice here's my virtual one and here's my local one right here, right? And that's basically the big difference, right? If you want, if you want QuickBooks as you know it as far as a desktop, you just double click on the icon and it opens up the program, right? I don't have QuickBooks installed locally on premise. It's on my own virtual computer operating system on the Unidata servers, right? Using remote data services or terminal server or Citrix. There's many ways to do it, Linux as well. Okay, but while that opens, again, this is different from QuickBooks Online where I'm logging in to the service and the data is kept on Intuit servers. Okay, so that's the difference as far as cloud goes. You either have it installed locally where you are, you have it installed on someone else's servers, and you're accessing it through an icon on your desktop or iPad or whatever, going to open up the product as you know it, and it looks just like you're on a computer system because you are. Okay, it's just up in the cloud, so to speak. Or you have QuickBooks Online, software as a service, accessing it through the web, logging in. Very collaborative, very collaborative. And hope that was helpful. Take care.